Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to tell about a story which is called Chocolate River Quest. Enjoy it. Once upon a time, in the small and sunny village of Sweetville, there lived a curious and adventurous boy named Tommy. Tommy had bright blue eyes, a mop of curly brown hair, and a heart full of wonder. He loved exploring the fields and forests around his home, always on the lookout for something new and exciting. One warm spring morning, Tommy's grandmother, Granny Sue, called him over to her cozy little kitchen. Granny Sue was known throughout Sweetville for her delicious chocolate treats. She made the best chocolate chip cookies, brownies, and fudge in the whole village. But her most famous creation was the magical chocolate river, a secret recipe she had guarded for years. "Tommy, my dear," Granny Sue said with a twinkle in her eye, "I think it's time I tell you a special secret." Tommy's eyes widened with anticipation. He loved Granny Sue's secrets, they always led to amazing adventures. Granny Sue continued, "There is a legend in our family about a real chocolate river hidden deep in the enchanted forest. It's said to be the source of the richest, most delicious chocolate in the world. But only those with a pure heart and a brave spirit can find it." Tommy's heart raced with excitement. "Can we go find it, Granny? Can we?" Granny Sue chuckled. "Well, it's not that simple, my dear. The journey to the chocolate river is long and full of challenges. But I believe you can do it. Here, take this map. It was given to me by my grandmother, and now I pass it on to you." Tommy took the old, yellowed map with trembling hands. It showed a path leading from Sweetville, through the Whispering Woods, over the Rainbow Bridge, and finally to the enchanted forest where the chocolate river flowed. "I'll do it, Granny. I'll find the chocolate river and bring back the best chocolate for everyone in Sweetville," Tommy declared with determination. Granny Sue smiled and handed him a small backpack filled with some of her special chocolate chip cookies, a water bottle, and a little compass. "Be safe, Tommy. And remember, always follow your heart." With a final hug and a wave, Tommy set off on his grand adventure. He walked through the fields, feeling the warm sun on his face and the gentle breeze in his hair. Soon, he reached the edge of the Whispering Woods. The trees were tall and thick, their leaves rustling like they were whispering secrets to each other. As Tommy entered the woods, he followed the path marked on his map. He kept his eyes and ears open, listening to the sounds of the forest. Birds chirped cheerfully, and squirrels scampered up and down the trees. But there were also strange sounds, whispers and giggles that seemed to come from nowhere. "Who's there?" Tommy called out bravely. Suddenly, a small, mischievous fairy named Flick appeared in front of him. Flick had bright, sparkly wings and a cheeky grin. "Hello, traveler. What brings you to the Whispering Woods?" she asked, fluttering around Tommy's head. "I'm looking for the chocolate river," Tommy replied, showing Flick his map. "Do you know the way?" Flick's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Ah, the chocolate river. Many have tried to find it, but few succeed. I can help you, but you'll have to solve a riddle first." Tommy nodded eagerly. "Okay, what's the riddle?" Flick cleared her throat and recited. "I'm not alive, but I can grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Tommy thought hard, tapping his chin. After a moment, his face lit up. "A fire. The answer is fire." Flick clapped her hands in delight. "Well done, young traveler. Follow me, and I'll show you the way to the Rainbow Bridge." Tommy followed Flick through the Whispering Woods, the fairy flitting ahead like a tiny, glowing lantern. They walked for hours, but with Flick's guidance, the journey felt like a fun game. Finally, they reached the edge of the woods and saw the rainbow bridge stretching across a sparkling river. The bridge was made of shimmering, colorful stones that glowed in the sunlight. It looked like something out of a dream. "Thank you, Flick," Tommy said gratefully. "Will you come with me?" Flick shook her head. "I must stay in the Whispering Woods." "But keep going, brave traveler. The chocolate river is waiting for you on the other side of the bridge." Tommy waved goodbye to Flick and stepped onto the rainbow bridge. As he walked across, the colors beneath his feet seemed to dance and swirl. It was a magical sight, and Tommy couldn't help but smile. When he reached the other side, he found himself at the edge of the enchanted forest. The trees here were even taller and thicker than those in the Whispering Woods. Their leaves shimmered with a silvery glow, and strange, magical creatures peeked out from behind the trunks. Tommy took a deep breath and stepped into the forest, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. He followed the path on his map, which wound through the trees like a snake. As he walked, he heard the distant sound of rushing water. That must be the chocolate river, Tommy thought, his heart racing with anticipation. But just as he thought he was getting close, a deep, rumbling voice stopped him in his tracks. "Who dares to enter the enchanted forest?" Tommy turned around and saw a large, friendly-looking bear standing on its hind legs. The bear had soft, brown fur and kind eyes. "I'm Tommy, and I'm looking for the chocolate river," he said, showing the bear his map. The bear nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, the chocolate river. Many seek it, but few find it. To reach it, you must pass one more test." Tommy nodded, ready for whatever challenge lay ahead. "What do I need to do?" The bear smiled. "You must help someone in need. Show me that you have a kind heart, and I will show you the way." Tommy looked around, wondering who might need his help. As he did, he heard a faint, sad cry coming from a nearby bush. He walked over and found a small, frightened rabbit caught in a thorny bramble. "Don't worry, little rabbit. I'll help you," Tommy said gently. He carefully untangled the rabbit from the thorns, being careful not to hurt it. The rabbit looked up at Tommy with grateful eyes. "Thank you," it whispered. "You have a kind heart, indeed." The bear, who had been watching, nodded approvingly. "You have proven yourself, Tommy. Follow me, and I will lead you to the chocolate river." With the bear leading the way, Tommy felt a renewed sense of determination. They walked through the enchanted forest, the sound of rushing water growing louder with each step. Finally, they emerged into a clearing, and there, flowing before them, was the chocolate river. It was more magnificent than Tommy had ever imagined. The river's surface gleamed with the rich, dark sheen of the finest chocolate. The air was filled with the sweet, irresistible aroma of cocoa. Tommy couldn't believe his eyes. "I found it. I really found it," he exclaimed, jumping up and down with joy. The bear smiled. "Yes, you did. And now, you can take some chocolate back to Sweetville. But remember, the magic of the chocolate river is not just in its taste, but in the kindness and courage it took to find it." Tommy nodded, understanding the bear's words. He filled a small bottle with the delicious chocolate, knowing it would bring joy to everyone back home. With a heart full of happiness and a bottle full of chocolate, Tommy thanked the bear and started his journey back to Sweetville, eager to share his amazing adventure with his family and friends. Tommy made his way back through the enchanted forest, the bottle of magical chocolate safely tucked in his backpack. The forest seemed even more magical now, as if it was celebrating his success. The trees whispered encouragingly, and the magical creatures peeked out to smile at him. As Tommy reached the edge of the enchanted forest, he saw the rainbow bridge shimmering in the distance. He stepped onto the bridge, feeling the colorful stones glow warmly beneath his feet, The journey across felt shorter this time, and soon he was back at the Whispering Woods. Tommy remembered the kindness of Flick, the mischievous fairy, and wondered if he might see her again. As if on cue, Flick appeared before him, her wings sparkling in the sunlight. "Well, look who's back," Flick said with a grin. "Did you find the chocolate river?" Tommy nodded excitedly. "I did. And I brought back some chocolate to share with everyone in Sweetville." Flick clapped her hands in delight. "That's wonderful, Tommy. I'm so proud of you. The Whispering Woods are celebrating your bravery. Now, let me help you find your way back home." With Flick leading the way once more, Tommy felt a sense of accomplishment. They walked through the woods, the familiar sounds and sights making the journey feel like a pleasant stroll. As they neared the edge of the woods, Flick stopped and turned to Tommy. "This is where we part ways again, brave traveler. But remember, the magic of the Whispering Woods is always with you," Flick said, her eyes twinkling. Tommy gave Flick a big hug. "Thank you for everything, Flick. I'll never forget you." With a final wave, Tommy stepped out of the Whispering Woods and into the sunny fields that led back to Sweetville. The village was bustling with activity as usual, but when the villagers saw Tommy returning, they gathered around, curious about his adventure. Tommy's best friends, Lucy and Jack, ran up to him. "Tommy, where have you been? We've been so worried," Lucy exclaimed, her eyes wide with concern. Tommy smiled and held up the bottle of chocolate. "I went on an adventure to find the magical chocolate river, and I brought back some chocolate for everyone." The villagers gasped in amazement as Tommy told them the story of his journey, from Granny Sue's kitchen to the Whispering Woods, across the Rainbow Bridge, and into the enchanted forest where he met the friendly bear and found the chocolate river. Everyone listened with wide eyes and open mouths, hanging on to every word. Granny Sue, who had been waiting anxiously for Tommy's return, stepped forward and hugged him tightly. "Oh, Tommy, I'm so proud of you. You did it." Tommy handed the bottle of chocolate to Granny Sue. "This is for you, Granny. I couldn't have done it without your map and your belief in me." Granny Sue's eyes filled with tears of joy as she took the bottle. "Thank you, my dear. This chocolate will bring happiness to everyone in Sweetville." With Granny Sue leading the way, the villagers gathered in the town square. Granny Sue carefully poured the magical chocolate into a large pot, and soon the air was filled with the delicious aroma of cocoa. She began to make her famous chocolate treats, adding a little bit of magic to each one. Tommy, Lucy, and Jack helped Granny Sue distribute the chocolate treats to everyone in the village. The joy and excitement were contagious, and soon the whole village was buzzing with happiness. Children laughed and played, while adults savored the rich, delicious chocolate. As the sun began to set, the villagers gathered around a large bonfire to celebrate Tommy's adventure. They sang songs, told stories, and toasted marshmallows over the fire. Tommy sat with Granny Sue, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. "Granny, do you think there are other magical places out there, waiting to be discovered?" Tommy asked, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Granny Sue smiled and nodded. "Oh, I have no doubt about it, Tommy. The world is full of wonders and adventures, just waiting for brave hearts like yours to find them." Tommy grinned, his mind already racing with thoughts of new adventures. But for now, he was content to enjoy the moment, surrounded by his family and friends. As the night grew darker and the stars twinkled overhead, the villagers began to head home, their hearts and bellies full of happiness. Tommy stood by the bonfire, looking up at the sky. Lucy and Jack joined him, their faces glowing with excitement. "What's next, Tommy?" Jack asked, his eyes wide with anticipation. Tommy smiled and shrugged. "Who knows? But whatever it is, I'm ready for it." With that, the three friends made their way back to their homes, their hearts full of dreams and their minds full of possibilities. Tommy knew that as long as he had his friends and family by his side, there was no adventure too big or too challenging for him to tackle. The next morning, the village was buzzing with excitement as news of Tommy's adventure spread. People from neighboring villages came to Sweetville to taste Granny Sue's magical chocolate treats and hear the story of the brave boy who found the chocolate river. Tommy woke up to the sound of laughter and chatter outside his window. He quickly got dressed and ran outside to join the festivities. The village square was filled with colorful banners, stalls selling chocolate treats, and children playing games. Granny Sue's chocolate had brought a new sense of joy and community to Sweetville. Everyone wanted to celebrate the magic and wonder that Tommy had brought back from his adventure. As Tommy walked through the village, he was greeted with smiles and waves from everyone he passed. He felt a warm glow of pride and happiness knowing that his adventure had brought so much joy to his friends and neighbors. Tommy spotted Granny Sue standing by her stall, handing out chocolate treats to a group of children. He ran over to her and gave her a big hug. "Good morning, Granny," Tommy said cheerfully. "The village looks amazing today." Granny Sue smiled and ruffled Tommy's hair. "Good morning, my dear. It does, doesn't it? And it's all thanks to you and your brave adventure." Tommy beamed with pride. "I'm just glad everyone is happy." As the day went on, Tommy and his friends explored the festival, playing games and enjoying the delicious treats. They visited each stall, marveling at the creativity and effort that had gone into making the celebration so special. In the afternoon, the village held a special ceremony to honor Tommy. The mayor of Sweetville stood on a small stage in the village square, holding a beautifully decorated medal. "Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a young hero who brought magic and joy to our village," the mayor announced. "Tommy, please come up here." Tommy's heart raced with excitement as he made his way to the stage. The villagers cheered and clapped, their faces beaming with pride and admiration. The mayor placed the medal around Tommy's neck. "This medal is a symbol of your bravery, kindness, and adventurous spirit. Thank you, Tommy, for reminding us all that magic and wonder are out there, waiting to be discovered." Tommy's eyes filled with tears of happiness as he looked out at the crowd. "Thank you, everyone. I couldn't have done it without the support of my friends and family. This adventure was just the beginning. I can't wait to see what other wonders are out there." The crowd erupted in applause, and Tommy felt a sense of unity and joy that he would never forget. As the sun set and the festival came to a close, Tommy and his friends gathered in the village square, their hearts full of dreams and their minds full of possibilities. "What's our next adventure, Tommy?" Lucy asked, her eyes shining with excitement. Tommy grinned. "I don't know, but whatever it is, it's going to be amazing." With that, the friends made a pact to always seek out new adventures and to never stop believing in the magic and wonder of the world around them. As the stars twinkled overhead and the village settled into a peaceful slumber, Tommy knew that his journey was far from over. With his friends by his side and his heart full of courage, he was ready to face any challenge and discover new wonders. And so, the story of Tommy and his Chocolate River quest spread far and wide, inspiring other children to seek out their own adventures and to always believe in the magic of the world. The days following the festival were filled with excitement and anticipation. Tommy, Lucy, and Jack spent their time planning new adventures and exploring the outskirts of Sweetville. The story of Tommy's Chocolate River quest had inspired the entire village, and everyone was eager to see what wonders the trio would discover next. One sunny afternoon, as the friends sat under their favorite oak tree, Tommy pulled out a new map. "Look what Granny Sue gave me," he said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Lucy and Jack leaned in to take a closer look. The map was old and intricately detailed, showing various landmarks and paths leading to mysterious places beyond Sweetville. This map shows other enchanted places Granny Sue's ancestors explored, Tommy explained. There's a crystal cave, a meadow of giant flowers, and even a mountain of singing stones. Jack's eyes widened. Wow! Where should we go first? Tommy thought for a moment, then pointed to the crystal cave. Let's start with the crystal cave. It's supposed to be filled with beautiful, glowing crystals that light up like stars. The friends agreed, and the next morning, they set off on their new adventure. With their backpacks filled with supplies and hearts full of excitement, they followed the map's path towards the crystal cave. The journey took them through lush meadows, across bubbling brooks, and into dense forests. Along the way, they encountered friendly animals and curious, magical creatures, each adding a touch of wonder to their adventure. After several hours of hiking, they finally reached the entrance of the crystal cave. The mouth of the cave was wide and dark, but as they stepped inside, the walls began to shimmer with a soft, ethereal light. Crystals of all shapes and sizes adorned the cave, casting a mesmerizing glow. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined," Lucy whispered, her eyes wide with awe. Tommy nodded. "Let's explore and see what we can find." As they ventured deeper into the cave, the crystals grew larger and more dazzling. The light they emitted was so bright that it illuminated their path, making it easy to navigate the twisting tunnels. After a while, they reached a large chamber where the walls were covered in crystals that glowed in every color of the rainbow. In the center of the chamber stood a tall, elegant unicorn with a shimmering silver mane and a crystal horn. "Welcome, young adventurers," the unicorn said in a melodic voice. "I am Crystal, the guardian of this cave. What brings you here?" Tommy stepped forward, his heart pounding with excitement. "We're exploring the enchanted places on this map. We've heard so much about the crystal cave and wanted to see it for ourselves." Crystal the unicorn smiled. "You have brave and curious hearts, just like those who came before you. The magic of this cave is meant to be shared with those who seek wonder and adventure. As a token of your courage, I would like to give you a gift." With a gentle nod, Crystal's horn glowed brightly, and a small, sparkling crystal detached from the wall and floated towards the children. It landed softly in Tommy's hands, radiating a warm, comforting light. "This crystal will guide you on your future adventures and remind you of the magic that exists within your hearts," Crystal said. Tommy, Lucy, and Jack thanked Crystal for the beautiful gift and promised to take care of it. As they left the cave, the crystal's light seemed to brighten their path, filling them with a renewed sense of wonder and possibility. When they returned to Sweetville, the villagers were eager to hear about their latest adventure. The friends shared the story of the crystal cave and showed everyone the glowing crystal. The villagers marveled at the beauty of the crystal and the bravery of the young adventurers. As days turned into weeks, Tommy, Lucy, and Jack continued to explore the enchanted places marked on the map. They visited the meadow of giant flowers, where blooms as tall as trees swayed gently in the breeze, their petals shimmering with dew. They climbed the mountain of singing stones, where each step they took produced melodious notes that echoed through the valleys below. With each adventure, they grew closer as friends and learned more about the magic and beauty of the world around them. The crystal from the cave remained their constant companion, its light guiding them through dark forests and across wide rivers. One day, as they sat together in Granny Sue's cozy kitchen, Granny Sue looked at them with pride. "You've all grown so much from these adventures. I'm so proud of you." Tommy smiled. "We couldn't have done it without your guidance, Granny. Your stories and maps have shown us the way." Granny Sue's eyes twinkled with joy. "The true magic lies within you, my dear. As long as you keep your hearts open to wonder and adventure, you'll always find your way." As the friends prepared for their next journey, they knew that the world was full of endless possibilities. With the magic of the crystal and the support of their loved ones, they felt ready to face any challenge and discover new wonders. And so, Tommy, Lucy, and Jack continued their quests, bringing back tales of enchantment and adventure to Sweetville. Their stories inspired others to seek out their own adventures, spreading the magic and wonder far and wide. Years later, as Tommy looked back on his many adventures, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey that had started with a simple map and a dream of finding a chocolate river. He knew that no matter where life took him, the spirit of adventure and the magic of the world would always be with him. The village of Sweetville thrived, its people united by the shared joy of discovery and the belief in the extraordinary. The legacy of Tommy's Chocolate River quest lived on, reminding everyone that with bravery, kindness, and a little bit of magic, anything is possible. And so, in the heart of Sweetville, the spirit of adventure continued to shine brightly, lighting the way for future generations of dreamers and explorers. Tommy, Lucy, and Jack grew up to become wise and kind leaders of the village, always encouraging the young ones to seek out their own quests and believe in the magic of the world. And they all lived happily ever after, their lives filled with the joy of endless adventures and the wonder of the enchanted world around them. I hope you enjoy listening to Chocolate River Quest.